Prince and Princess of Wales have rolled up their sleeves to give back to UK communities following King Charles's coronation. Joined by their children, it marked an important milestone for Prince Louis in particular. John Paul Gonzo explains.
Buckingham Palace has once again drawn the world's attention. Making headlines is Prince Louis, the youngest child of Prince William and Princess Catherine, who has been in the spotlight almost from the day he was born. It must be tough growing up in such a high-profile family. How do they balance being a child with centuries of royal tradition? And how does the palace manage the challenges that come with that unique life? Join us as we find out why Prince Louis is in the news again. The palace breaks its silence. In 2025, the British royal family continued to capture public attention. But the story was not about sudden emergencies or dramatic announcements. Instead, it focused on real events involving health updates and family life, which the public followed closely. These developments showed the human side of the royals while highlighting their efforts to balance duties and privacy. Prince Louis, the youngest child of the Prince and Princess of Wales, turned 7 years old in April 2025. Kensington Palace shared a birthday picture showing him with missing front teeth. In a short behind-the-scenes video released on social media, he laughed and played, showing the everyday charm of childhood. Parents could easily relate to this moment, the excitement of growing up, losing baby teeth, and sharing small milestones with family. It reminded people that even royal children have simple, joyful moments just like anyone else. Meanwhile, the palace continued to provide updates on King Charles III's health, which had been a matter of public concern. Charles was diagnosed with cancer in February 2024 during tests for another condition. Since then, Buckingham Palace has issued periodic statements about his treatment and recovery. In late March 2025, the palace reported that the king had experienced temporary side effects from treatment and was briefly hospitalized for observation. This caused a short postponement of public engagements. Such adjustments are familiar to anyone managing serious health issues. Even adults with demanding schedules sometimes need rest and medical care to continue their responsibilities safely. Despite his age and treatment, Charles continued to carry out public duties whenever medically possible. He attended events, engaged with charities, and used some appearances to raise awareness about cancer. In mid-December 2025, he delivered a rare personal message during the Stand Up to Cancer broadcast. He explained that his treatment schedule would be reduced in the coming year because his therapy was working. By sharing this update, he not only informed the public, but also encouraged regular cancer screenings, emphasizing that early diagnosis can save lives. It was unusual for a monarch to speak personally about health challenges, making his message both inspiring and relatable. At the same time, the Princess of Wales, Catherine, was recovering from her own health journey. She had been diagnosed with cancer in 2024 and by early 2025 was reported to be in remission. This brought relief to both the family and the public. Catherine and Prince William also emphasized protecting their children, George, Charlotte, and Louis, from intrusive media coverage. Their statements showed a careful effort to balance public duties with family privacy, something many parents face when trying to shield children from stressful situations. Throughout 2025, the Wales family shared occasional lighthearted, relatable personal moments. For instance, their 2025 Christmas card featured a springtime family photo with holiday greetings from William, Catherine, and their children. Social media shared this widely, highlighting that royal families like ordinary ones, cherish family traditions and celebrations. Prince Louis occasionally appeared in media coverage in simple everyday moments. In December, a photo showed him at a family lunch wearing a hand-me-down jumper from his older brother, George. This small gesture made the royal children relatable to the public. Parents everywhere understand the practicality of passing clothes between siblings, and it shows that even royal children experience ordinary family life. Importantly, there were no verified palace statements indicating that Prince Louis faced emotional or behavioral challenges in 2025. No credible news outlets reported any such announcement. Public attention focused instead on real, documented events: the king's ongoing treatment, Catherine's recovery, and the family's effort to keep private matters private while still engaging with the public. These updates resonated because they combined transparency with humanity. People could see senior royals managing serious health challenges, raising children, and balancing responsibilities, all while sharing relatable moments. Whether it was a birthday photo, a Christmas card, or a casual family lunch, these moments showed that royals, like everyone else, face challenges, celebrate milestones, and find joy in everyday life. In this way, the story of the British royal family in 2025 was not about surprise announcements or dramatic crises. It was about real people navigating life's ups and downs, managing health, family, and public duties, and sharing small, authentic glimpses of their lives with a world that watches closely. So, how did William balance being a father with his royal duties during this challenging time? Williams speaks out. In 2025, Prince William made public comments from Kensington Palace about his family, but the focus was not on a crisis involving Prince Louis's emotional state. Instead, William spoke honestly about how his family had coped with a very difficult few years, especially around health and family life. The story that did unfold involved real, well-documented events about the Princess of Wales, Catherine, and how the family adjusted their lives when she faced a serious health challenge. In March 2024, Catherine announced she was undergoing preventative chemotherapy for an undisclosed form of cancer. She said the news was a shock and explained that she and William had tried to manage the situation privately in a way that was appropriate for their children. They reassured the children that she would be okay and focused on explaining things in a way that young children could understand. William has been open about the emotional strain that year placed on the whole family. In interviews and public appearances during 2025, he described 2024 as one of the hardest years of their life because both his father, King Charles III, and his wife faced cancer diagnoses within weeks of one another. The king's diagnosis was first announced in early 2024 after tests during an unrelated procedure, and he began treatment that year. Over the course of 2024 and 2025, Catherine completed chemotherapy and, by early 2025, had publicly shared that she was in remission. Courts and commentators noted that her recovery was ongoing, and like many people recovering from major treatment, her return to normal was gradual. In statements William made, he emphasized that everything is progressing in the right way, and that Catherine was getting stronger each day. William's return to public duties during Catherine's treatment showed the difficult balance he maintained. In November 2024, he traveled to South Africa for the Earthshot Prize ceremony, his first major international trip since Catherine's diagnosis. During that visit, he told reporters that Catherine was, doing well, and that the family was getting through it. His decision to attend the event, rather than postpone it, reflected both his commitment to environmental causes and his confidence in Catherine's support system at home with her parents and palace staff. The prince also spoke about how the experience changed his perspective on what truly matters. In several interviews throughout 2025, he acknowledged that facing serious illness within the family made him more appreciative of everyday moments and more determined to shield his children from unnecessary public pressure during such a vulnerable time. During this time, the couple also talked about protecting their children's privacy and helping them understand what was happening in age-appropriate ways. William said that they chose to explain both the good news and the hard parts of Catherine's health to George, Charlotte, and Louis so that they would feel safe and informed. He emphasized that many parents, not just royals, face tough conversations with children when a family member is ill. Rather than crisis reporting, the public saw warm, human moments from the Wales family in 2025 that made them relatable. For example, the couple released their 2025 Christmas card with a photograph taken earlier in the year showing William, Catherine, and their 3 children, George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis, smiling together. The sight of a family portrait like this reminded many people of their own holiday photos and the way families rally around each other during difficult times. Prince Louis himself often appeared in lighter, everyday coverage. He turned 7 in April 2025, and Kensington Palace shared a birthday image of him proudly showing his missing front teeth, a moment many parents can relate to, since losing baby teeth is a normal part of childhood that can often be both amusing and a little nerve-wracking for kids and caregivers alike. Reports also noted that the extended family helped keep things stable and normal. Catherine's parents, Michael and Carol Middleton, were sometimes present to help with the children, especially during Catherine's recovery. This reflects what many families go through when parents are focused on healing after illness. Grandparents and relatives often step in to help with daily life and give children extra support. Although this detail came mainly from social and commentary reporting rather than official palace statements, it has been widely mentioned in media coverage of the family's 2025 experiences. Another important development in 2025 was the family's move to Forest Lodge in Windsor Great Park. William, Catherine, and the children moved into this larger family home as part of a longer-term plan to create a stable environment for their children, especially after years of upheaval. Some residents were initially unhappy about increased security and restricted park access, but royal experts noted that the family's focus was on building a sense of home after a tough period. Meanwhile, King Charles has continued his own cancer journey. In December 2025, the palace confirmed that after nearly 2 years of treatment, his therapy was moving into a precautionary phase because he responded well. Charles described this as a personal blessing and used public communication to encourage people to take cancer screening seriously, thereby helping normalize health discussions for the broader public. What is factually reported is that the Wales family has openly shared parts of their personal journey through illness, recovery, and family life, and that William has spoken about balancing duties with his children's needs during a challenging time. These themes resonate with many families around the world who juggle work, caregiving, and supporting loved ones through health struggles. But how do royal parents support their children through family health crises while maintaining privacy. What royal protocol might look like? While there's no evidence Louis faced such challenges, let's explore what royal family support might look like in such a scenario. On a quiet weekday at a royal residence, young Prince Louis felt overwhelmed. This story is set against real events. Louis, the youngest child of Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, turned 7 in April 2025, and Catherine was recovering from cancer treatment. Louis hesitated to go to school. He had always been lively and curious, much like children around his age. During events like the Trooping the Colour Fly Past in June 2022, he had been full of energy. But in this story, he felt unusually quiet, reflecting the way real families notice subtle changes in a child when a parent has been seriously ill. Catherine's chemotherapy in 2024 required her to rest for months, and the household had to adjust schedules accordingly. William and Catherine immediately recognized that Louis needed time away from routines and pressures. While there are no real reports of him being withdrawn from school, parents everywhere understand situations where children need extra emotional support when a loved one is sick. They convened a small family meeting, not publicized, purely a private discussion about care and comfort. The family imagined creating a daily routine focused on calm, predictable activities. In this fictional account, Louis helped with small tasks like caring for pets, watering plants, and simple household chores. This mirrors how real families often use chores and structured play to help children feel safe and engaged when life is stressful. These tasks give children a sense of accomplishment and normalcy, similar to Louis playing outside or attending school in real life. Catherine, still recovering from her treatment, observed quietly. William balanced some public duties, such as attending charitable events and engagements for causes like mental health awareness and environmental conservation. In reality, William did maintain his royal responsibilities carefully, ensuring that family life and his work were balanced. Princess Anne also stepped in to offer additional support. She provides space for Louis to play, explore, and regain confidence, echoing the support extended by extended family in real-life households when parents are busy or recovering. This relatable scenario illustrates family support networks. Louis' days are filled with outdoor activities, walking among gardens, learning about animals, and observing plants grow. These simple experiences are similar to the childhood joys any family encourages, helping children regain curiosity and energy. Over time, he begins to ask questions, laugh, and play again. Prince Louis appeared in media coverage wearing hand-me-down clothes from his older brother, George, showing a down-to-earth side of royal life. Louis gradually re-engages with the world around him. There are small setbacks, quiet mornings, moments of hesitation, but steady care, structured yet relaxed routines, and family support allow him to regain energy and curiosity. Just like any child, progress is gradual and unpredictable. Royal families have long struggled with balancing privacy and public duty. How has this tension played out? Historically, how royal families have handled mental health. Historically, the royal household has navigated family stress and mental health in highly public roles. Queen Elizabeth II's younger sister, Princess Margaret, for example, struggled with depression and anxiety, often exacerbated by the pressures of public life in the 1950s and 1960s. Mental health challenges in royal history were rarely discussed openly, leaving children and adults alike to cope under intense scrutiny. Similarly, Princess Diana faced well-documented mental health struggles, including depression and panic attacks, while raising Prince William and Prince Harry, which shaped how they experienced emotional support and family care. These examples show how private emotional needs can clash with public duty. In the fictional story, palace staff prepared a confidential document outlining how to manage the child's absence from public events. The memo focused on appearances rather than emotional care, echoing historical patterns in royal households, where maintaining an image often took priority over individual well-being. Public reactions in real life have often mirrored this tension. For example, when Princess Diana spoke publicly about her struggles in the 1990s, it generated intense media scrutiny and public support, highlighting gaps in institutional understanding of mental health. In this story, Louis's parents react firmly. They insist that emotional needs come first, reflecting the approach William and Catherine have publicly described when balancing family life with official duties. While there is no verified crisis involving Prince Louis, the couple has emphasized privacy, careful communication, and support for their children, which mirrors the fictional response in the story. In many families, including high-profile ones, parents must advocate for their child's needs against institutional pressures or standard routines. Princess Anne's fictional intervention illustrates how an extended family can help stabilize a child during challenging times. Historically, Anne has been described as practical and supportive in family matters, often advising younger royals. Her involvement in the story draws on this public persona to provide a realistic framework for family support, without claiming any real incident occurred. The fictional leak of a confidential document creates public outcry in the story, showing parallels to past situations where private family matters became media spectacles. When Princess Diana's mental health struggles were reported, public concern surged, and mental health advocates highlighted the importance of supportive care over sensational coverage. In the fictional scenario, hashtags and social media outrage reflect the contemporary public response to perceived failures in protecting children, echoing patterns seen historically when royal family matters intersect with media. Attention! The story emphasizes that emotional recovery requires privacy, professional support, and consistent care. In the historical context, children in royal families, such as Prince Charles and Princess Anne, often faced strict routines and high expectations, which sometimes limited space for emotional expression. Modern approaches, like the fictional one in the story, imagine prioritizing flexibility, play, and professional guidance, illustrating how lessons from the past could inform better care. In the narrative, the parents maintain their roles while advocating for the child, balancing public duties and private priorities. This mirrors real-world advice from psychologists. When children experience trauma or stress, adults should create predictable routines, provide reassurance, and minimize pressure while monitoring progress. Families across the world use similar strategies when children face emotional challenges. Finally, the story shows institutional learning. The palace in this scenario reassesses how children are supported, aiming to prioritize mental health over appearances. This draws on historical lessons such as Diana's advocacy for mental health awareness, which changed public conversations and influenced approaches to supporting children under public scrutiny. The fictional narrative imagines a modern application of these lessons, emphasizing care, privacy, and professional support while maintaining necessary routines. With so many stories and articles, who is really Prince Louis? The boy behind the headlines. Prince Louis is one of the youngest members of the British royal family, and even though he is still a child, he has appeared in the news several times because of public family events. His full name is Prince Louis Arthur Charles, and he was born on April 23, 2018, at St. Mary's Hospital in London. He is the third and youngest child of Prince William and Catherine, the Prince and Princess of Wales. He is also the fourth in line to the British throne after King Charles III, his father William, and his older siblings, Prince George and Princess Charlotte. From a young age, Louis has appeared at formal royal occasions with his family. His first major public event was his Trooping the Colour debut in 2019, when he was just over 1 year old. This parade is held every year in June to celebrate the sovereign's official birthday. Members of the royal family ride in carriages and stand on the Buckingham Palace balcony to watch an aerial fly past. As he has grown, Louis has continued to appear at public events alongside his parents and siblings. One of the most memorable appearances in 2025 was at the 80th anniversary of VE Day celebrations in May. At that event, he caught the attention of the public and media when he tugged on his father's uniform and made playful faces. Videos and photos from the day showed him reacting in a very childlike way, which made many people smile because it reminded them of how children can be curious or goofy even during serious events. Louis also took part in the Trooping the Colour parade in June 2025. This year's event was a major royal occasion, marking the official birthday of King Charles III. Louis stood with his family on the balcony of Buckingham Palace, alongside Prince George and Princess Charlotte. He waved to the crowds, and cameras picked up moments where he interacted with his siblings. At times, observers noted the typical behavior of a young child, playful waving and excitement, which made the coverage lighter and more relatable for viewers around the world. Another significant appearance with his family in 2025 was the annual Together at Christmas carol service at Westminster Abbey in early December. This event is hosted by his mother, Catherine, and all three children, including Louis, attended with their parents. It was described as a rare public outing because the siblings had not been seen together in an official capacity since the summer. Later in December, Prince Louis appeared with his family at King Charles's annual pre-Christmas lunch at Buckingham Palace. This formal event brings together working royals and extended family. Reports noted that Louis wore a jumper previously worn by his older brother, Prince George, at a similar age, which attracted attention because it showed a touching moment of family continuity and sibling connection. Another way Prince Louis has been visible to the public is through official family portraits and cards released by his parents. In 2025, William and Catherine released a Christmas card featuring the whole family, taken by photographer Josh Schinner earlier in the year. In the photograph, Louis sat on his father's lap, smiling broadly. These images are often shared widely on social media and in international news coverage, and they help the public see a more personal, relaxed side of royal family life. Louis's presence at these events is shaped by his parents' decisions about how much of royal life a young child should be exposed to. William and Catherine have been particularly mindful of this balance since their own childhoods in the royal spotlight. William experienced intense media scrutiny from a young age, especially after his mother's death, which has influenced how he approaches parenting. The couple has made conscious decisions about when and how their children appear publicly, ensuring that Louis, like his siblings, has time to simply be a child away from cameras. Louis attends Lambrook School in Berkshire alongside George and Charlotte, where he participates in regular school activities like sports day, school plays, and after-school clubs. The school environment gives him a sense of normalcy and routine that's separate from royal obligations. Teachers and staff at Lambrook are experienced in maintaining privacy for high-profile students while ensuring they have the same opportunities as their classmates. Reports suggest that Louis has inherited his mother's love of outdoor activities and enjoys spending time in nature at the family's Windsor home. The move to Forest Lodge has given the children more space to play freely, with large gardens and grounds where they can ride bikes, play football, and explore without the constant presence of cameras. This private family time has become increasingly important to William and Catherine as they navigate raising young children in the public eye. Like many families, William and Catherine balance public duties and private childhood experiences. For example, in 2025, there were reports that the Welsh children, including Louis, returned to school after summer break, and their parents timed some public outings to coincide with their availability. The way Louis behaves in public often reflects how children behave in their early school years. Curious, energetic, and sometimes cheeky. This helps make him relatable to people who see him at official events. For instance, at VE Day and Trooping the Colour, his playful actions drew attention because they were unplanned and spontaneous, a reminder that even royal children are still just children. Beyond scheduled events like parades, carol services, and family photos, other moments make Louis stand out in public coverage. Analysts and fans often comment on his relationship with his siblings. Videos from Trooping the Colour show older brother Prince George gently reminding Louis how to behave on the Buckingham Palace balcony, a moment that many viewers found relatable because older siblings often take on that role in everyday families too. Prince Louis's upbringing also reflects changes in the royal household. When he was born in 2018, he was styled Prince Louis of Cambridge because his parents held the titles Duke and Duchess of Cambridge at the time. In 2022, when his father became Prince of Wales, following the death of Queen Elizabeth II and accession of King Charles III, Louis's title changed to Prince Louis of Wales. This shift in title reflects his position within the modern line of succession and the changes in his family's roles. Although he is still young and his public appearances are limited compared with adult royals, every time Prince Louis appears in the news, it reminds people that even in a formal institution like the British monarchy, there are ordinary moments, laughter, playfulness, and family connection that make him recognizable and relatable to families around the world. As William and Catherine raise their children under constant public scrutiny while trying to protect their privacy, what impact might this have on George and Charlotte as they grow up? How will the next generation of royals find a balance between royal tradition and simply having a normal childhood? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the next video showing on your screen. You will enjoy it.